Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? Where you're just constantly busy, inbox is chaos, notifications pinging all day.
hmm
But then you get to the end of the day and you think, did I actually, move the needle on anything really important?
Yeah, that's a common one.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at Cal Newport's book, Deep Work.
Great book. Really timely.
Definitely. And our mission here really is to pull out those key nuggets that can help you cut through all that noise, help you learn faster, do genuinely better work, and maybe stand out a bit.
In this super distracted world we're in.
Exactly. So let's get into it. Newport's definition of deep work. He calls it the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task.
Right, and the cognitively demanding part is key. It's not just busy work.
No, it's the stuff that really stretches you, pushes your skills, creates actual value.
Then he contrasts that sharply with what he calls shallow work.
Yeah, that's the emails, the endless meetings, the social media scrolling, jumping between 10 different things.
Stuff that feels productive in the moment, maybe.
It does. But like Newport says, it rarely creates significant new value. It just keeps the lights on, sort of.
And here's something I found really powerful in the book. Newport insists deep work isn't some fixed trait. It's not like you're either a deep worker or you're not.
Ah, okay.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
A skill you can actually practice and get better at.
Yeah.
He even argues our brains are kind of being rewired for distraction now.
That makes sense, unfortunately.
So practicing deep work is almost like mental strength training, building that focus muscle back up.
And he gives actual strategies, right? Not just theory.
Oh yeah, very practical. Things like setting really firm boundaries around your time and attention.
Like scheduling specific blocks for focused work.
Exactly, uninterrupted blocks. And he even talks about, consciously quitting or limiting social media if it's not really serving a core purpose for you.
Being intentional about it.
Very intentional. Because, and this is crucial, deep work doesn't just happen by accident. You absolutely have to plan for it and protect it.
Because the modern world is basically designed to pull you away.
Precisely. The default, especially in many workplaces, is constant availability, instant responses. That's the enemy of deep work. You need structure.
So you need to actively carve out that space.
Right. He talks about different approaches, like a monastic style where you're super isolated, or more rhythmic where you build regular deep work sessions into your week. It's about finding what fits.
Okay, but let's be real. Constant Slack messages, remote teams needing quick answers. How do you actually protect that time without, becoming a total hermit or a bottleneck?
That's a fair question. Newport stresses treating those deep work blocks like you'd treat a critical meeting. You wouldn't just skip it or let people interrupt constantly.
And schedule around it.
Yeah, and communicate proactively. Let colleagues know when you're available and when you're focusing. Set expectations. It's about designing your environment, both physical and digital, to support that focus.
Got it. Be deliberate.
Deliberate is the word.
And there was another concept I really liked, the shutdown ritual. Oh, that's such a good one. Yeah, this idea of having a clear end to your workday. A routine that signals to your brain, okay, work is done now.
So you're not still mentally chewing over your to-do list hours later when you're supposed to be relaxing or with family.
It gives you closure, lets you properly switch off.
And really, that brings us to the bigger picture, doesn't it? Newport's whole argument boils down to something quite simple, yet profound.
Which is?
If you can master your attention, resist those constant pulls towards the shallow stuff, and really commit to focused effort, you'll produce better work.
Better work, often in less time, too, right?
Often in less time, and definitely with less stress. It's about using your attention, your most valuable resource, effectively.
And that right there, that's the competitive advantage for you listening. In a world that's just drowning in shallow tasks, being able to consistently do deep work makes you stand out. It makes you valuable.
It's scarce.
Totally. And it's not about grinding harder or working insane hours. It's about focusing smarter, controlling your cognition.
So, maybe the final thought to leave you with, something to really reflect on from Newport himself. The next time you sit down to work, just ask yourself, is this deep or shallow? And if it's shallow, is it truly the best use of your limited time and attention right now? Something to think about.